Welcome to today's episode, Me First. Yes, you have to think about yourself first in everything you do. I know this is not easy. It's not really easy. Yeah, but we're going to have somebody who is going to share, who has that positive vibes. Yes, she's somebody that I would say she is a role model to those people who find it difficult to think about themselves first. She's an entrepreneur. She has loads and she has a wealth of experience, you know. She's a mother, yes, she's a mother, she's a worker, she multitasks, she does lots of things together, yet she puts herself first. She's going to share with us her experience, her thoughts on putting yourself first, on me first, and reminding yourself that it's okay to love yourself and be selfish. Oh yeah, we're going to have Abimbola Makoju. I call her Abby. Abby, yes. So can we have her today? Hello, Abimbola. Thanks for joining me on the show.
Hello, sis. Nice having me. Thank you for inviting me, if that's the right word.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Yes. And yeah, thanks for making time. I know, especially we moms, it's been really difficult to schedule a time to do this. So thank you. I have done a little bit of introduction about you. So, but I would like you to tell us a little bit about yourself, if that's okay.
Hey, right. Okay. My name is Abimbola Makonju, but 90% of people I know call me Abimax.
Yeah.
Yeah, which means Abimbola Makonju. So
Yeah.
it's Abimax. Yeah. So I'm 40 years old. I'm going to be 41 in 2 weeks.
I know you had that amazing birthday party last year, is it?
Yeah, I did. Thank you. So yeah, I'm a mother of 2. I'm a wife. What else? How does one introduce themselves? Yeah,
that's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm into beauty. I am an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
And what else? What else? What else would you like to know? Ask me. Just ask me anything.
That's fine. Yeah. Just wanted people to hear from, because I've actually said 1 or 2 things about you. So, but that's fine. Yeah. Having watched you, and of course, I've known you for quite a while. It's over 2-3 years now. And yes, I've been observing you, and I realized that you are one person that you portray, look after me. You see, when I see you, I always see that it always reminds me that as a woman, as a man, you need to think about yourself. I know we have family, we have jobs, but sadly, the economy, the world in which we find ourselves, lots of people do not treat or do not do the me first. So what's your opinion and what's your drive?
Okay, number 1. This is my motto. You cannot draw from an empty well. You cannot draw from an empty well. If the well is empty, you can draw from it.
Yes.
If you are empty, you cannot be productive.
Absolutely.
If you are empty, the people you go all out for, the people who do all these things for, they cannot draw from us because we are already empty. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So this is me. I invest in myself. I invest in my happiness. I invest in my appearance, because when I am happy, that is when people can draw from me. That is when people can benefit from me. That is when my children, my husband can enjoy me. But when I'm exhausted, when I'm tired, when I've given everything I have got,
everything,
even the people I'm doing it for, they cannot benefit from me. I think that's all I have.
Yeah. So is this sort of a culture that you have built all along, or is this something that you had to grow to learn? How did you find yourself in understanding that you need to do this and you need to put yourself first? Yeah. Because sadly, some people, it's always easier said than done, you know?
True.
So is it that you had to, how did you find yourself in that state where you had the understanding, or in a place where you think me first? Yeah.
Okay, so since I was young, I have been like this. I didn't wake up one day. I didn't grow up and start feeling like I need to be this. Since I was a child, like since I was a girl, when I discovered myself, like, okay, I need to look good. Like, say from the age of 8, I've always liked to look well. And that went into my teenage years, into my education, and growing up. I've always looked after myself. So that time I didn't have any responsibility. So I invested a lot in myself. I wanted to look good. I wanted my skin to be perfect. Even things I couldn't afford, I would save up to it. Despite the fact that I didn't have a job, I didn't have anything. I would save up bits and pieces. Every pennies I had, I would save up just to buy that little soap that was sold for £5. At that time, I didn't have any money. I was living with my parents. Everything they provided for me was all I had. So if I needed extra, I couldn't afford it. So I would save my pennies. Every pennies, I would save it towards that little soap they sold at Peckham, just to make my skin. Do you understand? So when I grew up like that, like looking after myself, I wanted to buy that first wig that I couldn't afford. I would save every £1 that my mom gave me, every penny, I would save it just to buy that wig. So now, when I started having responsibilities, that was when I got married. Before I got married, like I said, I had this me thing that I just wanted to feel good within from inside. So when I got married, obviously things started going down like that. The things I could, but because obviously outside the fact that I was saving money when I was a child, I was working before I got married. Like I grew into that woman. I had my own. I graduated. I started working. Nice office, nice money coming in and things. So I had my money. So I could still buy those. I could now buy even more expensive, £250 cream and things. But at that time, I was still living with my parents. But then when I got married, we started sharing bills. Obviously, it's UK.
And it comes with lots of responsibilities.
Absolutely. So the things I could buy without even blinking an eye, it started to reduce. I couldn't afford like all of those luxury anymore because I wasn't living free anymore. But then, sis, what I made this conscious decision, because even my husband, I think my husband helped a lot with my situation. My husband he knows that you cannot draw from me when I'm empty. This is just me. I honestly, maybe the question you asked, how did I find myself in it? Maybe it should even be, I didn't find myself in it. This is the way God created me. People around me know that you cannot draw from me when I am empty, when I'm exhausted, when I am stressed, when I'm not myself, when I don't look good. You cannot draw from me. Do you understand? I cannot be productive. I cannot be who the people around me would like me to be. Do you understand? So my husband knew that aspect of me. So it did not exhaust me. My husband has never exhausted me. He gave me that extra because he knew. We dated. Obviously, we dated for a year before we got married. So he knew the sort of person I was. I didn't change when I got married. I now had to drive in this, or I did not change. He knew me before he got married to me. So he knew the sort of person I was, and he actually invested in it. Not in me.
Well. So there was sort of an understanding that people knew that you made that conscious decision to always, and then they understood that was you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, now for women now, because I think this is a learning curve for everyone that is listening, because if you are not well within yourself, then you cannot look after somebody. But so for people that are not used to this culture, of course, they'll be drained, they won't be productive, they won't be their best self. Aside from learning from you that you made this conscious decision, what other things do you think can influence people treating themselves first? Because sometimes if you're not used to it, you're not used to it. But it affects you. So what, apart from that conscious decision, is there any other thing that you think facilitates or supports you to think about yourself first?
Okay, so like I said, this one is inbuilt. I was born this way.
Mm.
So that question may be a little challenging to, like I've been saying, you cannot invest if you don't even have the background. Do you understand?
Yes.
I don't have that sort of background where I was exhausted and then one day I woke up and be like, Abby, you have to take charge of your life. I've always taken charge of my life. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But the advice I can give those sort of women is, I think you should start hanging out more with like-minded people.
Yeah, that was what I wanted to ask. I wanted to say that, do you think the people you find yourself around, or the sort of peer that you have, does that influence it? Or maybe just like you said your husband invested and he understood that. Do you think that supported it as well? Or does that have impact on you looking after yourself first?
No, it doesn't. I don't want to sound cocky. Do you understand? The people watching, this is not cockiness. This is not being full of myself.
Yeah, that's okay. It's absolutely fine.
A lot of people draw that energy from me, not the other way around. You understand? I think
I need to hang out with you more.
I am that person you want to. You see that question you're asking, that maybe I have people. No, I've been Bola Makondu. I am that sort of person you want to hang out with, to draw positivity, to draw positive energy. I'm not being cocky, like I said.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's just the way God created me. I have so much energy, a lot of people cannot even match. John, I have so much energy. I have so much positivity because within myself, I am happy. I have invested so much into my happiness that I have so much to even give out to other people. I have so much to give to everybody around me, my husband, my friends, my sisters. I have so much positivity to give, to share with people around me. My sister is next door to me. Sis, you know I'm on holiday. And if I didn't force her, my sister is a nurse. She works 2-4-7. With me, I know, sis, you know me now. You know me personally. I like, I like, I don't
that's just you see, just to say that you're on holiday at the moment, just for people to understand that you are actually having your me time now. The kids are back home and the husband is back home,
My sister, wow. She is next door. Before we came online now, I opened the door to our room because my room leads to our room, and she is there under a duvet, under the AC. Covered up, sleeping, and I was like, in my head, she's sleeping. She didn't even. This is what you need. You cannot work 2-4-7. She's got 3 children. She's a single mother. You cannot draw from an empty well. If you're empty, the children you're working 2-4-7 for, they cannot draw from you. You're going to be empty by the time you work 2-4-7. These children cannot even draw from you because you are already empty. You are exhausted. You have nothing to give. I dragged her here. She's sleeping next door, and I'm happy. I'm satisfied. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's actually very useful for me. Apparently, I would say maybe this is more of me, because sometimes I find myself in a stage where I'm really, really drained. And I think when you're drained and you're not thinking about it actually makes you angry as well.
Yes.
It makes you. So what do you think? What's your opinion on that? Yeah.
This is why I keep saying you cannot draw from an empty well. People who do these things, I don't fault them, ladies. I'm not faulting you. It is just sometimes it is what life throws at us. We can't even help it sometimes. So I get it, ladies. I'm not faulting anyone. But ladies, when you do too much, you become empty. You become withdrawn. You become angry within your spirit. You still do the normal things you do when you see your friends. You go, hey. Within yourself, sis, you are not happy. Within yourself, you don't have anything to give. Within yourself, you don't have positivity to give, because even you are exhausted. But a lot of people don't even know they are exhausted. These are the people that get angry at little things. At parties, you'll be standing behind someone on a queue to get food and stuff. Just tiniest thing, they'll be like, and it is tired. Sis, I'm not
exhausted.
They are tired. They are working mothers. They are mothers who look after children 2-4-7 of their life. They are tired people. They angry people, but they don't know that is what is making them angry, because we all look good, we all wear makeup, we wear nice clothes.
I know when the makeup and the wigs and everything is on, we don't really know what's going on.
What people are going through. So yeah. So in my little opinion, honestly, ladies, know when you're tired. Know when you are given enough. Do not give 101 of what you don't have. We only have 100%.
Does this relate to men as well? Is it the same for men as well? Because sometimes when we women, some women find out that they say, me. When is the time for the husband's me as well?
Okay. So now, ladies, permit me to say this. Men get exhausted more than we do, but they have so much ego, they don't even want to accept it. To be a father, to be a husband, is not an easy task. But these people get on with it as if it's nothing, but they are exhausted too. And the fact that the wives, the mothers are exhausted, they are so tired, they cannot even give the men half of what they used to give when they just met, when there were no children.
Yeah.
And so this men says, I don't think this is the talk for it. It's a lot of talk. It's a lot of conversation, honestly.
So actually, I need to actually get you back on the show to actually, we need to smash that into.
It will be in segments. It will be, because this is going to lead into another thing. This is going to lead into why people cheat. Do you understand? And we're not talking about cheating now. So
yeah, but it's good to throw some light on it so that it awakens people that that's the reason when there is no time to think of, to give them that place for themselves, then that makes them go and do things they are not supposed to, isn't it? If that's where you're coming from.
Yes, last week, sis, I was hanging out with my friend. I went to our house, but I didn't want to go upstairs because I only had a couple of minutes to spend with her. So I was in my car. She came to join me. And a neighbor was walking by. She pointed at the neighbor and said, that's the neighbor was telling you that our husband doesn't talk to her. And I'm like, Bola, my friend's name is Bola also. And I'm like, Bola, do you know that man that does not talk to your neighbor? Have you asked him? Have you had the opportunity to ask him his side of the story? Have they always been like this, that they stopped talking? If they had stopped talking from the onset, how did they get married? How come they have children? If they stopped talking when they were dating? So things lead to another. One thing would lead to another that led to not talking. And mostly women get tired because we do so much, sis. We even need, despite the fact that I have so much positivity, so much that I've invested in myself, sis, I still get tired. Because when I wake up in the morning, I'm rushing for work. I have to bath for my 2 boys. I have to make sure there's food in there. There's somebody looking after them right now that I'm away. I have to bath for them. I have to look for someone that looks after them. There's so much. I have to look after the husband too. My car, has it got fuel? It's so much. It's draining. Now, it is draining, sis. It is draining. I have to think of food. I might work 2 for sometimes I do 12-hour shift. And after that, I still have to drop by a Peckham to buy beef, to buy chicken. And then there where I'm standing, I'll call the husband to find out. So that, do you want beef this time? And then he will be thinking, before I will cut off the phone so that I don't have time. I only have 2 minutes. There's no time for thinking. How many women call their husbands to find out? I'm already getting angry. And this is me. That I have a lot of time to myself. Now, imagine those people who don't. Now imagine those people who give 101 out of 100 they have.
I know.
So it's a lot of things that lead into problems in marriage. Like this neighbor of my friend that I was talking to you about, that I was telling you about, it is something that women get angry a lot, sis, because we do too much. Men, they go to work, they come back. I know they have their own stress too and all of that, but it's still not as much as women.
So in situations where you find out, what I'm trying to draw from what you're saying is, in situations where you find that people are having struggles in their marriage, one first question that one needs to ask is, do both of you, is there a place where both of you have the me time, where you are selfish with what you have? And there is an understanding, there is a communication that he needs to have his time. He needs to do this for himself. Absolutely. She needs to do this. So that's one of the causes, isn't it?
100%, sis. You got me without even having to explain too much. You got me. And this is one thing myself in my house, in my home, that's one thing we have done over the years. My husband does not exhaust me, sis. He knows I will not be productive.
So there has to be that understanding, balance, and communication as well.
Do not give out what you don't have.
Do
not make yourself out to be a macho woman. Do not make yourself out to be a, what's the other, superwoman.
I know, when I hear that, I'm like, don't say that, you know.
Honestly.
You know, when you begin to say that you are a superwoman, then you begin to drain yourself and do not know. I absolutely agree with you that some people always want to stay in that shell and do not want to get help, you know. But you have to get to an understanding that sometimes you need people to support you to be able to think about yourself first. But one other thing I would like you to share with us is, as women, we find out that because we have children, because we have a lot of people say we're super women and we have this power. You know, I used to hear, oh, women have power there, you know. Sometimes we put our children and maybe our close relations before us. What do you think? And that's not even about taking the me time, or, you know, sometimes we need something, but we put our, and I understand that you're saying that you cannot give away what you have, but how do you have a balance between, especially with our children, when do you have an understanding to say, okay, this child has to wait now?
Okay, so sis, as I always say, you cannot draw from an empty well. I'm going to put it this way first. Sis, if you do not strike a balance, if you do not know where it meets, where to stop, that child, or the children we are doing all these things from, they cannot benefit from us.
So you need to have a proper organization
from us. You see, I understand it is a good thing because it is us. The children were in heaven, sitting down
on their own.
Yeah, we went there to bring them here. I think this is why we feel the need to give them our 100% and 120%. This is why we feel the need to do that, which I understand, which is, you know, is understandable. But sis, you see, when we do all these things for our children and we give what we don't have, these children will benefit from us. These are the sort of women, the people that do it, they are the screaming mothers. They are the screaming, you know, screaming. Even me, that I still try and balance things, I still scream. Not to talk of someone that gives 120 out of the 100 she does not even have. Do you understand? They are the screaming mothers. They are the agitated mothers. They are the exhausted mothers. They are the tired mothers. They are the withdrawn mothers. They are the sort of mommies that the child would go to and say, "Mommy, what's the meaning?" And they would be like,
because you're putting the anger on them. And the other thing is, I also think they would expect more from those children when it's not supposed to be so. I have somebody very close to me.
I was not coming there. Well done, sis. Thank you. Go on.
Okay, she spent so much on her children's school fees, you know. And then one of the days she was talking to me, she said, I would ask you to do something for me and you would not do it. I spent so much on your school fees. I don't, and I took a step back and I said, are you spending that much because you want? I'm not saying we shouldn't want much from them, but are you spending it because you want from them? You know, and especially from the culture where we come from, we put so much, because we have invested so much, we have spent so much, we expect so much from them. I don't know what's your opinion on this. And then we forget about ourselves. We're expecting those children to look after us instead of us looking after ourselves.
Thank you, sis. This is like me interviewing you because you have said everything in my head.
No, it's just to give you an overview so that you can share your own thoughts on it as well.
You cannot, see that I say this 1 billion times. You cannot draw from an empty well, regardless of how much you invest in a child.
I think that needs to ring into a lot of people's ears.
Regardless of how much you invest in a child, what will be, will be. Sis, I put up a post a few days ago, just 2 days ago, about when I advise you, take my advice, because I talk from experience. We have 5 girls in my family, 5 girls. Everybody married, some married, divorced, some married, divorced. Do you understand? So I have so much experience, wealth of experience drawn from different people. Can you see this scar on my hand? Can you see it?
Yeah.
I got this scar from myself when I didn't know anything. And my elder sister, because she was a single mother, tired, exhausted, and angry. Both of us were beating our child. I'm not sorry to say this. My sister, we say this all the time because she tried a lot as a single mother. And we still did not get what we thought we would get. Because we wanted that child to be perfect. The 2 of us were beating her. It's a lot. It's not something I can expose here. But me, it was not me that was being beaten. Me and my sister, we were beating a child, and I got this injury from it. This was like 17 years ago in UK. And sis, what I have realized from helping my sister to bring up her 2 children when I was young is, no matter what you do, what will be, will be. Do your best and leave the rest.
Wow.
No matter what you did. My sister and I, we fasted. We did biri. If non-Nigerians, this biri is when you don't break the fast, that you do it for 7 days without eating. We were not even white garment people, but we would light candles, pray overnight with candles, 7 candles on these children. Sis, I'm not going to say so much. Just 2 children. She had just 2 children. The one that we invested so much in, and we turned our eye on the other that we already thought was on the right path. What will be, will be. Do your best. Women, ladies, if you're listening to me, if you're watching this, do not kill yourself over a child. Do your best and leave the rest. What will be, will be.
Yeah, you need to get to a stage where you feel that, yes, I have put in all my effort, then it's up to you.
Yes. Do not get to a point where you will now become the enemy of your child, and you're only trying to give the best to that child. That's what most of our parents did. Now, some of them became our enemies because they thought they were training us.
Yes.
They were training us with cane, with evil words, with negativity, with negative words. And some people have now become enemies with their parents. I mean, our parents. We, in my opinion, I think we're a bit of better parents. Some people, you may have a different opinion, but this is just my little personal opinion.
I agree with you. I agree with you, absolutely.
Thank you, sis, because, some people don't like to agree with that. Our parents, I think our parents overdid this. Our parents did too much in their own way. They thought it was the right way. Yeah. That was why they beat us. That was why they did those negative things. You have to sleep there because you didn't do what I asked you to do.
You have to be a lawyer. You have to be a doctor.
Thank you.
You have to go to this university. You have to marry this man.
Thank you, sis.
And that's because of their own selfish interests. Because they have not had time to look after themselves, and they expect you to come and look after them.
Yes.
I'm not saying this is wrong, but they have left the time of me first. And they feel that because I've invested so much, you have to.
So much, yeah, that is where you hear your parents saying, in my one time, I was hawking biscuit just to feed you. Not because you hawked biscuit just to feed me. Who told you I want to become a doctor? Who told you it is a doctor I want to become? I just want to be a makeup artist, mommy. Why?
I know. I just want to be a musician and just be on the stage, or a ballet dancer, isn't it?
Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Ladies, do not give what you don't have. God has only given us 100%. Some of our 100% has reduced to 75% due to stress that we have gotten from all aspects of our lives. Now, look at you. You only have 75% left from the 100% God gave you. And then you want to give 120 to a child. You don't even have what you want to give. You're going to be exhausted. That child might become your enemy at the end of the day. You may end up becoming enemies with your husband. You may end up becoming enemies with your best friends just because you are exhausting yourself. You're giving what you don't have. Desist from it. Reduce it, ladies. Remember yourself.
And do what makes you happy.
Do what makes you happy.
And
that child,
what will actually put your sanity in place.
That child, what will be, regardless of what you do on any child. I know what I'm talking about. I'm talking from experience. The child that we killed, that we thought would become a bad child, now is a master's holder.
Wow.
The other one that we thought was on the right path, I cannot tell you where that person is now. I'm talking from experience.
There was no balance. There was, and it's a three-way thing for the mother and for the two children.
Yeah. So
I just feel it's an opportunity for everyone that is listening. It's an opportunity for you to understand that there has to be a boundary. There has to be a balance. You need to do what makes you happy. Do not impose things.
Know when to draw the balance. Know when to stop. Know when to say no. Know when you have given enough. Know when you need to hand over the rest to God. If you're a believer or not, just know when to give the rest to nature. Even if you don't believe in God, just give the rest to nature.
And just let nature take its course.
You cannot do everything.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing all these useful tips. And I just hope everyone listening, it's a learning for you. It's a learning curve. I know it's really hard. It can be very hard. If you cannot do it yourself, you need, as Abby has said, find people around you. Give people the opportunity to support you. Do not hide under your shelf, and ask. You can ask, even if you don't find people coming to you. You can. It's okay to ask. You know.
Okay. You know why people don't like to open up these days? Because Nigerians, we don't like people to talk about us. Why people don't? Some people don't care. Let me not use color. Some people don't care. That's why they will meet you today. They will let you know their age. Some people, our people, cannot even tell you. Some
people will even say, Yoruba, but that's not what it is. For somebody to come to you to share something intimate with you, it means that the person is seeking help. And you need to have that understanding. When somebody comes to you and says something that is heavy, you know, if the person is actually making effort to seek help. So let's try as much as
that will not make them go back into their shell.
Yes.
You understand? So this is another topic that we can discuss on these different days.
Of course.
A lot of people want to reach out, but they don't even know who they want to talk to. They don't even know who they want to divulge it to, that will now go and start telling other people. And then telling other people, even, sis, there's so much to talk about. Telling other people is not going to reduce who you are. If that is going to now make you stay in your shell, you're only killing yourself. Just because
it doesn't matter anyway.
They only talk about relevant people. Come on, ladies.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Talk about me. I'm wearing a head cap. I'm wearing a wig. This is my hair. Do you understand? Talk about me.
Absolutely agree. I know. If we don't talk about, everybody talks about Trump. Everybody talks about Boris Johnson. So we talk about Oprah.
You'll be in the same place if you don't want anybody to talk about. Talk. It's only talk. They haven't come into your bank account to withdraw your money.
Wow.
They haven't taken your mobile phone away from you. They have not taken your gold away from you. Talk.
And your wealth of knowledge, everything is with you. It's yours. So it's okay. So please.
You don't let that make you a depressed person. You don't want that next person to know what is going on with you because they're going to talk about you. They talk about Jesus Christ.
Yes.
They talk about the most important people in the world are the ones we talk about the most.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much. So I hope I hope you are all on this page, and I hope after you have taken your time to watch this, take that step, look after yourself. And to be honest, it applies to me too. So almost everything Abby has said, I'll probably have to ring her after these, you know, and then I need to get more. She needs to extend that happiness to me. She needs
so much to share.
She needs to influence me positively, and to be honest, get support, get help. Do not suffer alone, you know. Think about yourself. And of course, I can't reiterate, Abby has said it so many times, you cannot draw out from a well that is empty. You need to be full to be able to share. Thank you so much, Abby. Thank you. We really appreciate your time. I appreciate all those tips. And yes, I'm definitely sure one or two people will learn and take one or two tips from this. I will let you go and enjoy your holiday. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
And yes, I would see you some other time. Thank you so much. And just before you go, I like to say this. I had a conversation with you. And after I had that conversation, I didn't show any emotions when I was having that conversation. But after that, you made me realize that there are still women that support each other. So thanks for extending that. Well done.
Thank you.
It's very hard, but yeah, thank you so much. I'll let you go. Enjoy the rest of your day. Okay?
Thank you. Take care. Hope to see you soon. Bye.
All right, see you soon. Bye, sis. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Wow. Thank you so much, Abby, for that inspirational, motivational, and you know, you've shared wealth of your experience. So for everyone, think about yourself first. If you have any question, please feel free to send me an email. You know, if you want further help, I know Abby will be willing to support you, you know, or to tell you or point you in the right direction. If you're seeking help, we know we'll try and point you in the right direction. And like she has said, you need to be full. Do not feel bad about it. Do not feel bad. Do not feel bad that you are selfish. It is okay to be selfish. Share this with your family. Share this with your friends. And yes, and do not forget to subscribe as well. Subscribe and let this go, and let people that are in their shell, let them see this so that they can be supported. Thank you once again. This is Dr. Bola Adeyeye Omishade, and I'll see you next week. Bye.